Good evening, Dr. Peterson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? What's up?
Hello, KBD. Are you able to hear me?
I am. Yeah, we had trouble getting in for some reason this time, but you can see me and I can hear you. So I
Perfect.
think my team's probably. Do you see my team?
Not yet, but I just sent her a link as well. So
Okay. Yes. Okay. So we'll just. So are you on standby?
Let me grab your
Katie, can we try your camera out real quick just to make sure it's working? Katie, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, perfect. Yep, your camera's working.
And my team, she has the link and she sent it to me,
Yeah,
but she's not in yet.
doesn't look like it. No. Let me add a new.
Okay, I just texted her back. Because I know the link we have on the actual job didn't work, but I know
That's
when we
really
had,
weird.
like we had a separate email like last time updated on 10/7, and that link did work.
Oh, that's
I
weird
know
because that should not have worked.
well,
That's
well,
really
it just
strange.
said the meeting like wasn't there was like
Oh,
no
right.
meeting. I mean, it didn't like me as far as this, but she said the link he sent me just says starting your event. Text the picture that she has on her thing to you. I get in this time.
I just sent her an email. She should have received a link that should work.
Yes, because I have your link and she sent me a picture of what her screen looks like and I told her to send that picture to you. She says her link just says the link he sent me just says starting your event. And then dot dot dot.
Yeah.
Did it start a little bit late with you to get us in, or I'm just trying to think what I can
No.
do next time? Okay. I'll just,
I've had the meeting started since like 4:45.
so you've been in here for a while. I'll show you what the picture
Yep.
originally showed me. Let me see.
Ooh. It's me, yeah. Testing, test. Testing, test, 1, 2. Think we're good? Goodish. All right. Thank you for that, Shane. All right. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Colton Joy Unified School District Board of Education meeting this evening, October 21st of 2021. It is 5:30, so we will call this meeting to order. I want to thank you all for joining us. We'll start this meeting with a roll call attendance of board members. So I'll ask Ms. Medina. Call roll for today's meeting.
Mr. Ibarra?
Present.
Mrs. Sandoval?
Present.
Mr. Fuentes?
Present.
Ms. Adigui?
Present.
Mrs. Haro? Mr. Flores?
Present. Thank you for that. And we will begin, as we do each meeting, with our Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to ask a special guest with us today, Mr. John Echeverria. He's a council member with the City of Colton. If you'd please lead us in today's Pledge of Allegiance. Please, Councilman. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty for all. All right. Thank you, Councilman. We appreciate it and welcome. We do provide translation services for Spanish-speaking folks that are here in the room that have either interpretive services to hear the meeting, but also to provide public comment. So this evening, I'd like to ask for our interpreter, Ms. Ada Velador, to please come forth for our announcement of interpretive services.
Hola, buenas tardes. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Ada Velador y estaré interpretando la reunión de esta noche.
Thank you so much. Our first item of business today is item 1.3. It is the adoption of our agenda. At this time, we do have some recommended amendments to the agenda pertaining to item 10.2. This is our personnel public employee appointment item. There's a request by staff to add 1 certificated coach for head varsity soccer boys, 3 classified coaches, head JV wrestling for boys, head varsity cheer co-ed. Previously, there was 1, and pep squad director co-ed. A request to add 4 volunteer coaches, 1 for band co-ed, 1 for baseball boys. Previously, there was 1, so this would make 2. And pep squad for co-ed, 2 positions. And lastly, there's a request to add 4 volunteers to our list. That's 2 for Colton High School, 1 for Lewis, and 1 for Sycamore Hills Elementary. Mr. Superintendent, are there any requested changes to the agenda in addition to those? Okay, so I will ask if there is a motion to approve the amendments to tonight's agenda.
Second that.
I have a motion by Board Member Haro and a second by Board Member Fuentes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, they are approved. Thank you so much. Tonight's school showcase is Bloomington High School. And so at this time, I will ask if we either have our student leaders, not sure if our principal is here. I don't, oh, there she is in the back. Wonderful. Principal Ramon, if you'd like to kick us off with our school showcase representing Bloomington High School this evening. Thank you so much for being here.
Good evening, Board President Flores, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Miranda. It is my pleasure to introduce our 3 student speakers this evening who will be reviewing our events and activities and athletics that have gone on at Bloomington High School. Today we have Samantha Figueroa, a 12th grade student, Angela Santana, 10th grade student, and Andrea Veloz, 12th grade.
Good evening, Board President Flores, board members, Superintendent Miranda, and members of the audience. My name is Samantha Figueroa, and I am a student leader at Bloomington High School. Tonight, Angela Santana and Andrea Veloz join me to share the great accomplishments of our brewing family. We are honored to shine the spotlight on academics, activities, athletics at Bloomington High School. I'd like to begin by sharing some information on BHS academics. On Thursday, September 9th, Bruin Country was able to host a virtual back-to-school night. All BHS students were provided time to create their virtual schedules to include all meeting links for their parents and guardians so they could get to know the expectations of their teachers and ask any questions. As you are probably aware, students recently took the MAP and WEA tests in their classes on science, math, and English. This was the first time administering these tests on our campus. The next steps are having our teachers look at the results and data from the testing in upcoming meetings. Together, they will generate a plan to help our students in the areas needed. Another way we plan to use the data and help our students is by having all 9th and 10th grade students take the PSAT. One of the tests was electronic and the other was administered in a traditional testing booklet answer key document fashion. Since the test was taken so recently, we do not yet have the results. For many years now, the Armed Service Vocational Aptitude Battery, or the ASVAB, has been held during our college week. This year, there was such a high volume of requests, we will have a second administration date to accommodate all that wish to take it. The ASVAB tests one's knowledge of basic concepts and skills while also determining eligibility to join the military branch and rank in our armed force. Generally, this knowledge one would have acquired in high school, and many students like to take it because it is valuable to them for future goals. Last week, we had College Week in Bruin Country. Throughout the week, BHS administration sent out videos to students with various clues about different colleges. Students would try to guess where the administration was for a chance to win prizes. Our avid students hosted a college fair and created college boards to display at lunch and educated their booth visitors about schools. Additionally, we were able to see guest speakers and attend college workshop. Since the FAFSA is such a large part of the college application process, our counseling department held FAFSA workshops to help with the completion of the application. Another amazing thing our school offers is after-school tutoring on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 2:30 to 3:30. Students can visit different teachers for help on different subjects. If this is not a possibility for our students, they can choose to use the new paper app for delivering unlimited 24/7 high-dosage tutoring that accelerates learning and knowledge retention. A new program that BHS teachers have been trained to use is ListenWise. The aim of the program is to use listening to advance literacy and learning in all students. They have a collection of podcasts that teachers can use to create assignments that focus on listening skills. And subject area. It even links the assignments to Google Classroom. Thank you for allowing me to share the BHS academics. I would now invite Angela Santana to share even more great things about our school.
Can you please move on to the next slide? Hello and good evening. As Samantha said, I am Angela Santana, a sophomore at Bloomington High School. I would like to thank you all for allowing us to come here today and talk about our school. Today, I will specifically be talking about our athletics program. So far, in our first quarter, we have had many games. Sports that we have played so far are cross country, football, and volleyball. Our football team was one of the first sports to have an in-person game. Many students were happy and excited to go and cheer them on after not being able to do so for so long. Games were exciting because we were able to hear the storm of everyone's voices cheering them on, and we were glad to see our pepsters, students, families, and our marching band there to support them and showing school spirit. Our cross-country team has been doing so well with their competitions. Although some just starting to practice 2 days before our first day of school, they have been able to place in the top 5 in races. Our boys are currently in first place and girls are in third place. We are having our varsity and our top 7 athletes in junior varsity going to league finals. This is all because of the hard work they have put into for practicing every single day and Saturdays. We are all anticipating for what else they have to show. Our final sport for tonight is our volleyball team. With a record-breaking season, they had earned first place with 13 wins, and they also went to league finals and took the title of the 2021 Skyline League Championships. But that was not the end of their historic season. Last night, they went head-to-head in the round 1 of the CIF playoffs. This was the first time in Bloomington High School history for a volleyball team to make it this far. We are more than proud of this team, its players, their families, and coaching staff for being part of this history and accomplishing this and making history in Bruin country. Here's to more of the same seasons to come. Upcoming sports in the future for winter season are girls and boys basketball, girls and boys soccer, softball, and baseball. In fact, all of these sports have already started their practices for their season. We hope you all stay on your feet and look forward to what else our athletes have to offer. Thank you. And our final student leader to share this evening is Andrew Veloz.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Veloz and I'm a senior. I'll be sharing about some of the many activities that have gone on in Bruin country from late last school year to now. In late May, the second we were allowed to host in-person events, we held a variety of senior activities for the class of 2021. This included a farewell tour of our campus, where graduating Bruins had the opportunity to walk around the campus and take photo ops at key places around our campus. These key spots were representative of the events that they would have attended had we been in school during the year. After the tour, seniors gathered on our football field for a movie night where they got snacks and a free Bruin blanket. It was so great to be back having activities on campus again. With the start of our new school year, our link crew hosted separate orientations for the class of 2024 and 2025. These Bruins, who have never seen the campus before, picked up their books and schedules, toured the school, and participated in group activities. As the school year began, student leadership held our WOW Week, or Week of Welcome, with aims at cultivating Bruin pride and spirit once again. It all started with a spirited first day kickoff with music and photo ops, daily lunchtime activities, and the senior sunrise for the class of 2022. Seniors showed up to our football field at 5:22 a.m. to bring in their final year at Bloomington High together. Following our week of welcome, Bruin clubs participated in our annual Club Rush, giving students an opportunity to learn about the variety of clubs and sports on campus and how to join them. Following our Club Rush, student leaders put on their first pep rally in 2 years. Our fall sports rally at the Bruin Bear Circus sure was a hit. Here, we introduced all of our fall sports teams and classes competed against one another in a circus-themed relay race. Next, it was time for our homecoming week. When you wish upon a star, a homecoming where dreams come true was our theme. During this special week, Bruins participated in lunchtime activities that all led up to our homecoming rally and homecoming dance. At the rally, we saw performances from our sophomore class dance team, Color Guard, and Bruins participated in our first class Yale competition in more than 2 years. Throughout the week, students also voted on our Bruin of Distinction nominees. This year, we added a new requirement. All nominees had to participate in our service project, which was the cleanup of our rose garden outside the staff mailroom. The nominees had a great time beautifying their campus and felt a lot of pride in the project. At the homecoming football game, we crowned a winner and runner-up for the Bruin of Distinction for each grade. For their great work at being amazing Bruins, all nominees got a free ticket to our homecoming dance. Our dance sure was a hit with over 600 tickets sold, free carriage rides, and tacos. What a homecoming week we all had. As many of you all know, this week is also Unity Week. Starting this past Monday, Bruins participated in all of our activities at lunch, such as a coloring contest, a stick-together group puzzle, and a kindness pledge, where they all shared kind words and took a photo in our Be the Eye in Kind photo op. Yesterday morning, student leaders, link leaders, and cheerleaders welcomed students to campus and sprinkled them with kindness at the entrances to our campus. We would like to thank you all for the opportunity to share about all things Bruin today and giving the opportunity to speak in attendance this evening. We now welcome any comments or questions from the board.
Thank you. Questions and comments from board members? Mr. Fuentes, please.
I want to thank Samantha, Angela, and Andrew for coming out. What a great presentation. You kind of brought us up to date. So awesome to see all the activities going on, all the sports that are going on, all the academics that are going on. I was at the volleyball game yesterday and I was biting my fingers, everything. The girls did just a great job playing the game yesterday. Man, they were there. They were there. So they fought hard. And so just congratulations to our volleyball team and our football team also. But I just wanted to say thank you for coming out this evening and sharing with us what's going on at Bruin Country. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Fuentes. Mrs. Haro.
Yes. I just want to say also thank you for coming out. And I want to thank you as part of ASB and your colleagues to thank them also. As you know, with the pandemic, a lot of things were canceled, changed, and all of you are having to adjust how to keep school spirit alive. And watching your presentation and seeing the different things you're doing to do that, it doesn't look like anything's different. Maybe a mask, but other than that, it looks like spirit is still quite alive with our Bruins. So thank you to all the students who do ASB, and thank you to Ms. Wright for working with all of you in keeping that spirit alive. Congratulations on a great presentation, and I look forward to your future ones.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Haro. Mrs. Adeguin, please.
Okay. Andrew, Samantha, and Angela, thank you so much for sharing your school with us today. Now let me share a little bit from my end. I'm familiar with your school because my daughter graduated from there many years ago. I won't even mention how many years because I have to go back to her and talk to her. So yeah, so something about your presentation, you covered academics, you covered athletics, and you covered activities. That gave us a good foundation of what your school is about. But what I wanted to share with you is that in my different positions, I've been on your campus multiple times. And I have shared this with a lot of people, is when you walk into Bloomington High School, there's a culture that's so welcoming, and it's a good place for students, good place for teachers. And I can't, it's something you really can't pinpoint, but it's there. It's there. What you shared today gave us a good idea of what's going on, but on a daily basis, you are living it, and you are the reason why the culture is there at Bloomington High School. I also want to thank you because I don't know if you know this, but this is your presentations are the highlights of our meetings because you are why we are all here. Okay, and we love to hear your stories, and we would love to see you come back and update us some more. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Adeguin. Any other questions or comments from board members? All right, well, I'll simply add, thank you for the presentation. Ms. Adeguin is correct. This is actually the most exciting and, no offense to our staff, the most fun part of our agenda. Because we do get to hear, not only hear what's going on campus, but honestly, this is a great opportunity for you as students to get experience speaking publicly, something that's very difficult to do. It's a learned skill. So the fact that you are able to not only speak publicly, but give a presentation, we hope that you enjoy it. We hope we're not too scary or intimidating. Got these nice shields between us, but it's a great opportunity for you to learn how to present and speak publicly, and you did a wonderful job. So we look forward to seeing you again soon. And please keep up the great work. It's really awesome to see all the activities finally coming back. Our campuses have life again. And that's really the most important thing for us, to see students having fun, interacting, engaging, and really enjoying their time in high school, because it goes by fast. I think all of us can tell you that. So thank you so much on behalf of the board, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon. All right, appreciate it. Our next item on the agenda is our special presentations. We have employee recognition. This is also an exciting item on the agenda. It's a chance for us to recognize staff, employees, volunteers, folks who give so much to the district and go above and beyond. So at this time, I'll ask Dr. Anthony Ortiz to please introduce our presentation.
Good evening, Board President Flores, board members, Dr. Miranda, Superintendent, and members of the audience. It's an honor to be here tonight on behalf of the Human Resources Division. One of our many responsibilities is to coordinate the Employee Recognition Award Program. And I have a wonderful committee that helps me with the arduous task of selecting from thousands of employees for each month. Classified Certificated Management, our education partner, to be recognized this evening. It's an honor always to be nominated and selected among thousands of our dedicated employees, but what's even more special is it's nominations from our actual colleagues. So that says and speaks volumes that we honor each other, and these folks that are around us recognize the amount of dedication and hard work we put forward. So each of our recipients tonight will receive a nice pin, a little plaque, and a beautiful certificate. Thanks to all my staff who helped put this together. And all of our nominees and award winners show dedication, passion, commitment, which you'll hear tonight. So our classified employee recognition recipient is Diana Guerrero. She's a school programs tech health assistant at Ruth O. Harris Middle School. And honoring her this evening is Tanisha Jackson, assistant principal.
Good evening, Board President Flores, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. My name is Tanisha Jackson, and I'm the Assistant Principal of Ruth O. Harris Middle School, and I have the privilege of honoring Diana Guerrero. Diana Guerrero has proudly served our community for the past 23 years. Over these years, she has served as a substitute at San Salvador Preschool, then in 2001 as a health aide at Ruth O. Harris Middle School. She is committed to the students and the staff in our community. Mrs. Guerrero makes it a priority to build relationships with students, parents, and staff on our campus and to get to know them personally, really know their stories. She is always willing to assist anyone with any task and is always a listening ear and a kind heart during difficult times. In addition, she serves as a member of School Site Council for our school, as a member as well as our district DSDP team. This year, our staff has leaned heavily on Mrs. Guerrero as she has been our #1 source of information when it comes to helping us understand all the things related to COVID-19. She takes the time to answer students and parents, answer their questions promptly. Throughout the year, we have watched her maintain her calm demeanor while working with several situations at any given time. Staff members have described Diana as thoughtful, considerate, generous, and fashionable. On behalf of Ruth O. Harris Middle School and the Bloomington community, I thank Ms. Diana Guerrero for her service to all of our Bulldog families.
I just wanted to say thank you. I'm very appreciative of this nomination or this award. And I also wanted to say thank you to the person or my colleague that nominated me.
And are there any special guests, Diana, that you'd like to introduce that might be here with us?
Yes, my colleague, Ms. Haley, and I believe she's the one that nominated me, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our certificated employee recognition recipient is Janice Marcano. She's a teacher at Terrace View Elementary. Honoring her this evening is Joanne Greer, principal.
Good evening, Board President Flores, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. This is Miss Lang, my assistant principal. I'm Joanne Greer. I'm the principal at Terrace View, and we're super excited to be able to recognize Janice. And if I can get through it without getting teary, that'll be amazing too. So I'm going to start by saying her favorite quote, which we hear ringing in the hallways every day. First and foremost, we are kind. That's the message that's practiced every day in Mrs. Marcano's classroom. The students repeat it in line, they repeat it in the classroom, and the motto concludes every email that Ms. Marcano sends. So it seems fitting that we should recognize this amazing teacher during the month of October when we're celebrating kindness. Her remarkable dedication and exceptional kindness are noticed and deeply appreciated. Each day, she positively influences students, staff, and families alike. Mrs. Marcano's classroom culture is infused with love, mutual respect, and the expectation of each and every student to give their personal best at all times. These are qualities she values and lives by. Mistakes and poor choices made by others are addressed and dealt with so that we come out on the other side motivated and ready to do better next time. And sometimes those opportunities to grow come out. Students in her class lift each other up, they celebrate each other's successes, and they persevere through difficulties. She's an unwavering advocate for every student in her class and works tirelessly to meet their needs. Her expectations are high, and students rise to the challenge in a safe and supportive environment. Janice doesn't leave that spirit in the classroom. She's a leader on campus and is always willing to give her time and energy to Terrace View. She reminds us often that Terrace View is her happy place. And she proves it to us every day. Janice is always eager to learn something new, try a new strategy, anything she can do to better help her students. She's a strong voice in campus leadership. She's an ACE representative. She plans events like Read Across America and regularly chairs any committee that needs an extra hand. And maybe most importantly, she's always willing to lend a helping hand to any of her colleagues or a listening ear. She is a much loved member of our Terrace View family, and we're very lucky to have her. Thank you, Janice.
I see 4 students here. Thank you. Parents. My husband. I can't thank you enough.
Our management employee recognition recipient is Christopher Kotluski, Assistant Principal at Bloomington High School. Honoring him this evening is Yvette Roman, Principal.
Good evening, Board President Flores, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Miranda. It is my pleasure and honor to recognize our Bloomington High School Assistant Principal, Mr. Kotluski, for his significant contributions towards supporting and maintaining a positive school environment for our students and our staff. Mr. Kotluski has worked diligently to support the needs of the site and is willing to assist others when needed. His assistance and eye for detail and documentation supported the reopening process and helped our site to prepare for our Williams visit. He is highly organized and prioritizes site needs and addresses his administrative duties in a timely manner. He responds to stakeholders in a clear and effective manner and seeks to support those who have questions and often goes above and beyond to provide support. He is caring and invested in the success of our students, staff, and our community. He is approachable, friendly, and respectful, and models the expectations of professionalism with others and contributes to a healthy work environment. He has supported the site through distance learning, summer school, and through providing access for students to courses necessary to prepare them for college and career. He is trustworthy, responsible, reflective, and reliable. Chris can also be very funny and often uses humor to lighten the stressful environment that we sometimes find ourselves in with the day-to-day needs. Bruin Country is thankful for him and for his student and staff-centered approach. As a principal, it is a blessing to be able to know that the members of our administrative team are highly skilled and can support the site and address the needs of our stakeholders. And I can truly say that I am blessed to have him on my team and appreciate him very greatly. Thank you, Mr. Kotluski, for all that you do. I appreciate you, and thank you for being on my team.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Roman. Thank you to the board and executive cabinet. This is truly, I appreciate this honor, and it's an honor to be here in front of you today. I'd like to point out that it is a communal effort here at Bloomington High School, and I'd like to recognize our classified, certificated, and administrative staff that works at Bloomington High School. Without their hard work and dedication every single day, what we do trying to deliver the best education possible for our students wouldn't be possible. I'd also like to recognize our school board, our executive cabinet, all of our district personnel around. Your support does not go unnoticed, and it's much appreciated. And lastly, I'd like to thank our families and the community. You are the reason we come to work each and every single day, and it's an honor to serve you. Thank you.
And our education partner recognition recipient is Therese Gibbons. She's an itinerant vision impairment teacher at San Bernardino County Schools. Honoring her this evening is Lisa Lennox, curriculum program specialist.
Good evening, Board President Flores, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. Teresa Gibbons is an itinerant teacher for the visually impaired employed by San Bernardino County Schools, and she supports our students with vision impairments that need special services. She's been in education for over 20 years, and she's thankful that she's here, literally. She had cancer at 23 and believes that God gave her a purpose, and that's to teach. And she's very into positiveness. She really believes in words of affirmation because you don't know what's going on with other people and you can't judge. So she believes in just being nice. So she's been supporting students while we were in distance learning, and that was, one big challenge. But this year coming back has had all sorts of new challenges, and she meets them head on. Teresa respects the dignity of her students. And when they want to try something that maybe we haven't done in our district before, Teresa says, "Hey, Lisa, let's figure it out." She provides support so her students can access the curriculum and so they can succeed in their classes. So if a student needs to learn Braille, guess what? She teaches them. And if they already know Braille, she works to get them their assignments in Braille. If they need large print, hey, she gets it. She demonstrates responsibility by not just providing the same routine services to every student, but going above and beyond to ensure that not only the students understand how to use their equipment, but also that the adults around them know how it works, so they can plan for the best learning strategies for their students. And she cares so much. She provides scaffolded support, and she makes sure that her students succeed. And she makes sure to work with our staff, students, and the students' families to make sure that the students are successful and how to get support when they leave the K-12 system. And I think that you can see that Teresa is worth her weight in gold, but her word is good as gold too. When she says she's going to handle something, she does. I never need to check up on her and ensure that she did what she said she was going to, because she does it every time. We are so lucky to get to partner with Teresa.
Thank you, Lisa, for your amazing words. I'm just honored and blown away, actually. But I feel, honestly, I'm only as strong as my team. And Colton, your district supports my students, and I just can't thank you enough. Like Lisa was saying, we had a kid this year, totally blind. He's in your marching band, and that teacher was all on board, was like, let's sign him up, let's figure this out. And he now has dreams of going to college to play in the marching band. Like, it's amazing that you provide those inspirations and the stories. I'm just the teacher that's trying to like figure it out with the district, but every teacher has a great team. And if it wasn't for the county and Dr. Wyatt, who's here today, and my other staff, my Brailleist, Norma Gomez is here supporting me, my family, my mom, Bonnie, my husband, Scott, and my twin boys who don't look like twins in the front row, who are actually your rivals because we go to Rev, we're Redlands East Valley. We all know, and that is the running joke with my student Raymond, because Raymond he's one of my ones I've cared a lot about because I'll work with him 6 years. Well, he's graduating the same year my only 2 kids are graduating. So the joke is he's saving me a box of tissue because he knows every day I come to work, I'm going to be crying because it's going to be a lot for me that year. When they all graduate, I'm going to be a hot mess. So I just can't thank you enough. And I just support everyone, and even Mr. Pearson, who I know is the special ed director. You know, anything I need, he's very willing to get, and I appreciate it. And honestly, I try to advocate when they come out of county to come to your district because it works. We don't have problems. Your teachers are amazing. And if you keep employing, you're going to have success. And that's really what it's all about, is getting these students who don't believe they have a future because they can't see. No, they do. Come to Colton. There's a huge future here. And I'm very thankful and grateful for the opportunity and your staff. So thank you, everyone. And have a great day.
We offer our heartfelt congratulations to all of tonight's recipients, and we encourage our CJUSD staff to continue to acknowledge and nominate more of our outstanding employees. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Ortiz. And of course, congratulations to all the honorees and those that are here to support you. Thank you so much for what you do. As you can see, we're a family here at Colton Unified, and nobody does it alone. So we really appreciate your presence and your support here tonight. And thank you for everything that you do. We really appreciate that. And we're not offended if some of you don't want to stay through the bulk of our agenda and all the business items. We won't take offense. So if you'd like to we'll give you just a minute to go ahead and exit if you'd like. That's not a problem. The Dodgers are playing, so I get it. I think we wish we could go with you, but oh, okay. Yeah. So let's be real. Stick around. All right. All right. That's it? Yeah. All right, before he exits the room, I do want to recognize and thank Dr. Scott White for being here with us, an administrator with San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools, but also a colleague and a friend from San Bernardino City Unified School District's Board of Education. I believe Vice President is here, if I'm not mistaken, so, yeah. Tonight's your night off, yeah. Thanks so much. Thanks, Scott. All right, well, our next item on the agenda is item 4.1. This is a public hearing, and at this time, I will go ahead and gavel open this public hearing, which is a sunshine proposal hearing. I would like to invite Ace to come up and present the sunshine ordinance. That's what we have on the agenda. Is Mr. Lucero, are you? I know, Mr. If you have it, do you have it prepared? Because we'll need to do it for the, during this actual hearing, if I'm not mistaken. You have to at least do the readout, just so we're kosher with protocol. And we can give you a minute, that's not a problem. And Ms. Medina, just to verify, we don't have any public comment cards with respect to this specific item, correct? Okay.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Lucero. I'm the Association of Educators, Colton Educators, Vice President. Our president is here tonight, which is why the confusion for this. Sorry. I'll read out our sunshine proposal. If you didn't know, this year is a year in which our whole bargaining agreement is open for sunshine. So typically we have 3 articles that we negotiate. This year we can pick between everything that's there. So we have 13 things that we would like to sunshine. In Article 4, the association is interested in updating communication methods. Article 5, the association is interested in updating our consultation language with the school district. Article 7, the association is interested in maintaining competitive salary and benefits. Article 8, the association is interested in updating language regarding staff meetings and collaboration time. In Article 9, the association is interested in reviewing class size and caseloads. Article 12, the association is interested in updating transfer/reassignment language and parameters. In Article 13, the association is interested in updating flexibility concerning the use of leave. In Article 15, the association is interested in updating language regarding the grievance process. In Article 18, the association is interested in adjusting the medical and dental coverage for retirees. Appendix 1, the association is interested in having a competitive salary schedule and updating column placement language. Appendix 3, the association is interested in updating extra duty stipends and hourly rates. The association is also interested in amending and updating language. Appendix 4, the association is interested in updating pay. And Appendix 6, the association is interested in updating the dates for future contract negotiations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And we'll go ahead at that point and close the public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Lucero. We appreciate that. All right, this takes us to public comment for tonight's meeting. Just a reminder to public comment speakers that there are 3 minutes per speaker. You'll see lights there on the dais, if I'm not mistaken, or on the podium: green, yellow, red. Green means go, obviously. Yellow is 30 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, and then red is obviously your time's up. So, just a little reminder: this is public comment for items that are either on the agenda or not on the agenda, but within the jurisdiction of the school district. So, with that, we will begin with Ms. Julie Town.
Thank you. My name's Julie Town. I'm recently retired. I was an elementary school teacher in the district for 33 years. I'm also a member of the community. I live in Fontana. First of all, I would like to commend the CJUSD School Board for placing emotional and social counselors at all elementary schools even before the pandemic began. This reflects the board's understanding of the need for immediate and ongoing emotional support for our students. Now, I'm here tonight to discuss what just came out from the American Association for Pediatrics, the American Academy for Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, and Children's Hospital Association. They've declared a national emergency in children's mental health, citing the serious toll of the COVID-19 pandemic on top of existing challenges. I have some interesting things that they've told us about why the emergency is here, but I'm not going to take the time to read all that because I am going to send this to you in an email so you can read that for yourself. But the thing that I'm concerned about right now is that I'm talking about the drills that we've been doing for quite a few years now, the lockdown and active shooter drills. The American Academy of Pediatrics warned in a policy statement that the drills can cause students psychological harm and hinder decision-making by educators. Dr. David Goldenfield, lead author of the statement, said, "When we do fire drills, we don't pretend there's a real fire. We don't play the sound of buildings crackling in flames." And a report found that active shooter drills in schools correlated with 42% increase in anxiety and stress and a 39% increase in depression among those in the school community, including students, teachers, and parents. Anecdotally, during my time as a teacher in kindergarten and TK, my students participated in these drills. Without exception, children were in tears, huddled together, and whimpering. These practices have our children practicing as if there was an active shooter or a reason for locking down our classrooms. Young children are developmentally unable to distinguish between what is real and what is practice. When we shut off the lights, barricade the doors, put them in small sections of the room, have someone banging on the door and tell them not to talk or move, they can't understand that this is just practice. This is without doubt causing both stress and trauma. Along with this, many children are afraid of the dark and have to sit without any clear explanation, causing more stress and trauma. I'm asking for this board to once again stand for our children. The communities we serve were overrepresented in COVID-19 cases. These cases resulted in death and devastating long-term health problems for many of our children's families. The trauma they have endured because of this is unimaginable. What's that mean?
Oh, that's your time, your 3 minutes. But if you would like, if you would please submit, or if
I
you
will
have-
send it, yes.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to send it to everyone. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that, Ms. Town. We appreciate
Sorry.
it. And just a reminder, gentle reminder to speakers that if you do have written comments, or if you would like to submit them after the fact in email in the entirety, you may do so to Ms. Medina or email it directly to us. That way we have the entirety of your comments. So I know sometimes it's tough to get everything in the 3 minutes. All right, our next speaker is Ms. Lisa Villa.
At the time yet. Get myself together here. I'm not prepared mentally. All right. I'm ready. All right, so good evening, everyone. I really do wish that I did not have to address my many Colton concerns publicly, but you have left me no choice. I have chosen to expose the lack of leadership here amongst the Colton community because things do not change despite the endless efforts. It's ridiculous that we have to complain in order to get the basics at a football game. For example, just for example, and for you leaders to allow it, allow these below basics is unacceptable. Some of you have been our leaders for years and years, and you are from Colton, which makes it even worse. What a shame to have the power that you have and to not expect more for our Yellow Jackets, or to have what everyone else has. Let's talk about Colton High baseball. The Inland Empire Baseball Coaches Association, which Colton High has failed to be a part of for a few years now. Even after parents complained last year, Colton High was still not signed up to be a part of it this year. Alex Navarrete, who has a full ride scholarship to a D1 college, should have been at that all-star game. But again, another failed example. He should be showcasing Colton High, inspiring other children that they can do it. But he was not there because of the lack of leadership. I can send you the residence baseball schedule. The coach is a Yellow Jacket alumni. He's the head coach there. He asked why Colton High is not playing games yet or practicing. Bloomington is on that Residence High schedule, and they're in the same district. The baseball schedules were made months ago. Our Colton baseball players and parents have been asking for fall schedule, but of course we do not have one. We have a concerned parent who took it upon himself to schedule a game with Aquinas last minute, this Tuesday. But the only reason that's happening because the coach at Aquinas is a Yellow Jacket. And of course he cares about our students, so we are making it happen because no one else at Colton High is making it happen. And you are allowing it. Despite the facts and complaints, you still continue to allow it. Both JV and varsity fields are suddenly being seeded at the same time. We had a whole year and a half. Not sure if it's because of the type of grass or if it's because of poor planning, but regardless, still another example of the lack of leadership at Colton High and the Colton School District. We have 7 to 9 students, starting seniors on the baseball team that have an opportunity to go to college, but we aren't even giving them an athletic chance. Colton High School has just took 6 to 8 weeks of field practice away from them to seed the fields. What was going on for a whole year and a half? While all the other schools are having games and practicing, the Inland Empire, not Colton though, and it falls on you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Villa. Our next public speaker is Ms. Larissa Hawkins.
Okay, this is my first time at one of these. I have 2 children in the district, 2 children under the age of 10. Myself and my husband, along with my mother and his family, attended Terrace View, Terrace Hills, and Colton High. I bought a home less than 100 feet from the school, fully believing my children would attend school within walking distance from K through 6th grade. I never imagined that I would have to possibly pull my girls from their school or this district, but sadly that is looking like it's going to be a reality. Myself, along with thousands of other parents, do not agree and will not comply with this upcoming vaccine mandate. I understand that this district has its hands tied, that being funded by the government puts you in a very hard place, and to be honest, they are making your job very hard. But it is time to fight back and rally for your students, your parents, and your teachers. If I'm not mistaken, our district is made up roughly 40% of families living below the poverty level, 200% below poverty level. Mom and dad probably both work, maybe even 2 jobs. Imagine what that's going to do to families when one parent must stay home to homeschool their children, and I can assure you that is on the horizon. Because despite financial struggles or how important a job is, nobody is going to put their children's health and well-being below that. I am not asking you to defy government orders. I am asking you to help us fight this now while we can. Your voices are powerful. You can join forces with other districts with similar demographics, Rialto, San Bernardino, Fontana. You can all pull together resources and be heard. You can contact legislation on our behalf. You can also reach out to the California Department of Public Health on our behalf. Census day enrollment and cumulative enrollment has been on a steady decline since 2015. This is public data I found. What is going to happen to public schools when this mandate passes? What is going to happen to your teachers? There will be a large percentage of teachers with no class to teach, no job. I am terrified that the governor wants to make my children guinea pigs for an experimental drug, and I refuse to let them be a dollar sign in the pockets of big pharma and politicians. I have a career and my husband and I work full time, but I will make the sacrifice and remove my children from the public school system if I have to, and the parents behind me are prepared to do the same. I am not going to stand here and state the data or the facts behind why this vaccine makes 0 cents for children, and I'm honestly, you all probably can agree with that. I am asking you as a parent and as a constituent for your support, for you to stand behind the parents, the children, the teachers, and the staff of CJUSD and help us fight for the medical freedoms of our children. Other districts have made formal public announcements that they support medical freedom, that they are not in agreement with this mandate. We have not received any words of assurance from you on that. If we cannot count on your support, then we need to start searching now for people to run next year for board positions.
Thank you, Ms. Hawkins. Our next speaker is Ms. Tori Gates.
Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. I'm here today as a concerned citizen and parent. First off, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude for all that you have done during these trying times for our students. I am here tonight as a parent. As a parent, I feel it is in the best interest of my children to not be vaccinated for COVID-19 in order to continue having an education through our public school system. The vaccine is far too new and it has been proven to not protect against spreading and/or prevention of COVID-19. As there is no one that wants to take responsibility for any adverse reactions and/or death related to receiving the vaccine, I am not accepting of it to be forced upon my children, all children, or anyone for that matter. Furthermore, I have been made aware that many school districts have come to an agreement that they will not be enforcing the mandatory vaccine on anyone. I would like to see Colton Joint Unified weigh this serious matter with the utmost importance for our medical freedoms. If you do not, I will be forced, as well as many others, to homeschool my children. Also, I feel this will not stop with just our children, healthcare providers, and the education system. Please stand with the millions of us that want to make our voices heard for our medical choices. Thank you from a concerned mother.
Thank you, Mrs. Gates. Our next speaker is Ms. Michelle Norris.
Hello, I'm a little shorter here. My name is Christy Bowl. I'm actually reading this on behalf of Michelle Norris. Okay, good evening, CJUSD board members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight. As a parent of children in the CJUSD district, I'm here to vehemently oppose the California state mandate of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine on our children. The data does not support the draconian decision of our youth. As of today, October 21st, 2021, the San Bernardino Public Health website states over the past 19 months, 4 people under the age of 20 have passed away from COVID-19. On a statewide level, 37 people under the age of 18 have passed away over the 19 months. 37 out of the population of 8,922,788 who are under 18, which is 22.5% total California population. To compare with another level of risk, are you aware of how many teenagers died in auto accidents in the Inland Empire region in the month of June? There were 21 deaths from auto-related accidents in 1 month versus 4 deaths in 19 months from COVID. This age group has 99.99% recovery rate from this virus, numerically speaking. As of yesterday, a news article stated that California had reached a lower moderate level of COVID-19 community transmission risk. In October 2021, we are currently the only state in the nation at this level, all without vaccinating our youth under the age of 18. What is the purpose of mandating these vaccines if we currently are the lowest level of transmission in the U.S.? High school kids all across the district have enjoyed homecoming activities over the past 2 weeks. As of now, there was no uptick in COVID transmission due to these events. Our over 18 age group has 99.99% recovery rate in the state with the lowest level of transmission, yet leadership is mandating a vaccine with no long-term data studies as to health impacts on our young people. There is no data over 1 year with side effects and long-term impacts to their health. To say that these vaccines are safe is an outright fabrication. We do not know. You do not know. What we do have are young people mysteriously dying of heart ailments shortly after vaccination. These stories are becoming more and more frequent, sadly. Today, there are over 1,500 documented cases of myocarditis, according to the VAERS website. It is estimated only 10% of VAERS injuries are actually reported. There are now so many cases of menstrual disruption in young women that the NIH will be conducting a study on this issue for the cost of $1.67 million. Is a 99.99% recovery rate virus worth the potential damaging health impacts of myocarditis on our young men and mental disruption in our young women? No, it isn't. All other mandated vaccines have over 10 plus years of documents, research, and trials. We have no.
Sorry, that is time. If you'd like to submit the letter in writing or the letter to Ms. Medina, she'll make sure that we all get copies of it.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Our next speaker is Ms. Christy Boyle. Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
Hello again. My name is Christy Bowl. Thank you for hearing us tonight. I'm a parent of 2 seniors at Grand Terrace High School and 1 8th grader at Terrace Hills Elementary School. Just to give you a little bit more information about me, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have volunteered for years throughout our schools. I have been on the PTA for Terrace View Elementary. So happy for Miss Marcano because she is amazing. I have been on the Terrace Hills PTSA. I'm on the school site council boards at each one of those schools. I've done my share of volunteering. I advocate for our children, I advocate for our teachers, and I'm 100% in support of our board. With that being said, I am also a rule follower. However, this mandate that is coming down the line from the governor is in no way can we accept that. I am hoping to get your full support as a board to protect our children, to value our children, to value the parents that are here tonight that say, we will not allow this. I myself, I'm glad that I have 2 that are going out of school this year because that means I have 1 more coming up in 8th grade that I will homeschool if I need to. I am 100% against this vaccination that has not enough testing. I am a patriot. I'm a rule follower. I believe in our freedoms. But I will not sit by and let this come down the pike and affect our children. And I hope that you, if given the chance, will support us. I hope that you will appreciate that we have done the masks, we've done the social distancing, we've done the plexiglass, we did distant learning, all of these things to lower the COVID-19 spread. We have done everything that we can do. It's come now, if I recall, at the Deep TAC meeting, I don't know, last week, that one of the speakers there, and I may be not remembering correctly, but out of 21,000 students at CJUSD, 17, I believe, is the number of COVID cases. We have sent hundreds more home because of the 6 foot. My daughter included, she had to go home for 4 days because she was within that 6 foot radius or whatever. So I'm asking for you to please support us because these numbers do not stand up to us vaccinating our kids for something that could be potentially dangerous for them. So I hope that we will have your support when that time comes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Ms. Rachel Array.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Array. I'm a healthcare professional, and I have been frontline since the pandemic started. I used PPE over and over and over again. I held hands of mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers battling COVID. I never once said COVID wasn't real. I advocated for how real it was and how we need to protect each other and our loved ones. Unfortunately, in January of this year, I brought COVID home to my husband, daughter, and baby. My kids didn't have a choice. Both their parents are first responders serving the community during this pandemic. They had to experience COVID with us. The vaccine started rolling out in January, and I was ready to get mine. That is until I was told by many doctors whom I respect I need to wait at least 3 months to get vaccinated. The reason being is I could have adverse reaction if I add these antibodies on top of the antibodies I already created. One of those reactions could be death, or just wait for natural immunity. As months went on and we saw less of COVID, I started talking with my patients that have been vaccinated that were around my age, and they all had one thing in common: unknown reactions after the vaccine. Some examples were heavy abnormal periods, loss of feeling to limbs, myocarditis, which can lead to heart failure, and pregnancy loss, just to name a few. I am seeing these adverse reactions on patients 35 and younger. We all make choices based on experience. I'm also a mother to a daughter at Terrace Hills Middle School. These mandates will force me and many others to take our kids out of public school. This is not what we want to do. But based on facts, COVID-19 is not a threat to children. Their fatality rate under 18 is 0.002%. Therefore, the survival rate for children is 99.998%. Also, researchers from Johns Hopkins find that 0 children without underlying health conditions have died from COVID. According to the CDC Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Reports, ages 12 to 17 from August 6, 2021, VAERS, which is Vaccine Adverse Reaction System, they had reported 9,246 reports. 90.7% of these were no serious adverse reaction, and 9.3 were serious adverse events, including myocarditis and death. I'll provide you all with this information. My daughter survived COVID, and this 9.3 chance of a serious reaction I'm not comfortable with. If you are faced with this choice, would you choose the 9.3 chance of your grandchildren facing a serious adverse reaction, or take the risk of them contracting COVID and having a 0% chance of death, according to Johns Hopkins? I find it ironic this week we are practicing Unity Week at our district, when unvaccinated kids are being bullied because they aren't vaccinated. Our children have suffered enough. We are here to teach our children to love our country, love each other, and love education. I want to leave you with 2 things to think about. Why do the unprotected children need to protect the protected? Also, as professional educators to our children, are you not responsible for teaching them their constitutional rights about choice? Can I leave these somewhere with you guys?
Yeah, if you'd like to give it to Ms. Medina, she'll make sure that we get copies. Thank you. All right, our next speaker is Ms. Karen Arredondo.
Good evening. I've done my own research and weighed the risks and benefits of each vaccine. When eligible, I ultimately decided Pfizer was the best option for me. As an overweight 39-year-old Hispanic woman, I knew catching COVID could mean death. I knew taking the shot did not mean I would not catch COVID, but that if I did, the shot would be to my benefit. I had no reaction to the vaccine immediately, but I did notice I missed a menstrual cycle for 3 consecutive months. Was it the vaccine or just part of getting older? Will I have issues later? Years from now, will they realize there are side effects that they didn't know would come out? Who knows? But it was a risk I was willing to take for myself. What I do know is my one and only child is a 13-year-old girl in CJUSD who is still going through puberty. There has not been sufficient time to collect data on long-term side effects for these new vaccines. Physically, hormonally, emotionally, and psychologically, she and other young children are still changing. Not knowing what this may or may not do to her years from now led her father and I to the decision to not vaccinate her at this moment. I did my research and found that as a child, her risk of catching a severe case was minimal, when all the data I found reflected that she would probably have very mild symptoms, if any at all, if she even caught it. She is current on all her other vaccines and is a healthy child with no underlying health conditions. I have her wear her mask, wash her hands often, and give her additional vitamins to boost her immune system. That is not to say I will never vaccinate her for this. That is not to say that the parents who have vaccinated their children are wrong. I believe each parent is doing what they truly feel is in the best interest of their own child. As parents, we know our children. We know their daily interactions, friends, classes, allergies, and health history. We know their likes and dislikes and all the things in between. My daughter loves peanut butter and she loves chocolate, but cannot stand if they are mixed together. Different, right? I give you that tidbit because she is my daughter, who I know best. Respectfully, the board members here could not pick her out of any of the kids in the district. As we learned from a mother at last board meeting, not all vaccines affect each child the same. While I understand the government's announcement has caused panic, I am aware that this is something that is not in full effect yet. I also know that it can change at a moment's notice, and that as a board, you can help make the decision and have discussions if it will be truly fully enforced, when and if the time comes. In the DPAC meeting on 10/14, CJUSD staff acknowledged cases are low and vaccine rates are high in our district. That is all with the vaccine not being required at the time. On October 16th, the FDA delayed approving the Moderna vaccine in adolescents due to myocarditis that is popping up some. On October 5th, the NIH granted funds to Johns Hopkins as well as 4 other schools to study the effects on women and their menstrual cycles as they have noticed some changes. These are difficult times for us. None of us have ever been faced with it before. Everything's always changing. As a parent, I'm just asking for more time. Let more information unfold before we are forced to make a decision. I'm asking the board to leave this decision about this particular vaccine up to the parents. Let it be recommended to have this done and not required. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. The next speaker slip that we have is simply listed as a concerned student. So I don't know if this individual that submitted is here.
Good evening, board members. I am in 11th grade and have been a student in this district since kindergarten. I've been an A+ student all of my years of education. I'm in National Honor Society in leadership at my school, run cross country and track, and I volunteer on and off campus in my spare time. I've tried to use this past year and a half stay-at-home order to help me put things into perspective. I've come back to school challenging myself to try new sports and new groups. It feels good to be back on campus and navigating our new normal, but it hasn't all been an easy adjustment. There was emotional anxiety to be around crowds again. There was a physical strain of getting headaches from trying to see through blurry plexiglass or adjusting to wear a mask for all those hours, but of course I'm willing to do it for the ability to be back at school. Just when we are starting to settle into the new norm and getting acclimated to all the changes, there's now talk of a new vaccine mandate for students. I know this is not coming from any of you, and you are all waiting for instruction from the state on how to proceed. But to be honest, it's all overwhelming to think that my ability to stay in school, my academic career, my sports career, the freshmen I mentor, and the potential of me not graduating with my peers is all reliant on a vaccine that I am not comfortable with getting at this time. It's affecting my thoughts and mental health. Many other districts have issued guidance by means of a plan with confirmation that exemptions will be allowed, but our district has not issued such a plan. Can we please get some guidance on if our district will allow exemptions, or let us know if we will be allowed to go to online classes if we choose not to be vaccinated? We need guidance as soon as possible so we can plan our future accordingly. I shouldn't have to stress about my medical safety over receiving a fair and equitable education. Please help the hundreds of students in your district who feel this way. You represent all of us and we need you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Our next speaker is Ms. Takia Walker.
Hello, everyone. I come today as a concerned parent. My child and I were all present. My child has been experiencing some in-house bullying from Ruth Grimes Elementary School. I had a altercation, not an altercation, but a situation on October 4th, where I contacted the principal and asked the principal if the principal could have a meeting with me regarding my concerns regarding how my student is being handled. I was short-cummed. The teacher, basically, principal put me to quietness and just told me, what time do you want to have a meeting? I told her at that time that I will not be speaking with her anymore. I will take my concerns to the board, and I was going to make a formal complaint. I followed through with that complaint. My concern is later on that day, I went to pick up my child at 3:20. While approaching with my children to the crosswalk, we approached another student. My daughter was speaking with that student, and the student was explaining to me and my daughter at the time that my daughter was spoken of in a counseling session with her and other students. At that time, I was alarmed. I felt some type of way because I've already been dealing with this school regarding how I feel like my daughter's being singled out, being belittled, and being bullied, and it's not being handled. So in that interim, the young girl herself describes to me her own hurt and her own pain and her own confusion as to why when she shares with the counselors, the teachers, or even the principal, that nothing is handled to help her. While I'm doing that, I'm approached by the principal and I'm told I'm interrogating students. I told her I was not interrogating her. I was getting information from that student. That student was given my information for her parent to contact me so that we can come together and be here present at this board. Because if it's happening to mine, I know it's happening to hers. At that time, the principal approached me and she told me she was going to call the police on me. She called the police on me. When the police came, they told me I can speak to any child I want. I work with the Department of Labor. I work with Job Corps. All of my jobs are DOJ clearance. That principal is aware of that. I do believe she used her authority at that time to create a hostile environment for me. She called the police and she made it look like as if I didn't conduct myself right and I was putting a child in danger. The reason I'm here today is I received the response to my complaint, and she lied completely. Nothing in this statement is exactly what happened that day. I will be giving you guys a copy of my statement as well as her response, and I would just like to know, where do I go from here? Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ms. Walker. If you wouldn't mind, Assistant Superintendent Brennan Dade will follow up with you. Not a problem. Our next public speaker is Mr. Paul Lucero with ACE, but also with Joe Baca Middle School.
Good evening, school board and Dr. Miranda, members of the audience. My name is Paul Lucero again. I teach at Joe Baca Middle School, and yesterday we had a successful TED Circle. To inform those that may not know what TED Circles are, there are TED Talks, which are well-known informative talks that are recorded to bring attention to various subjects and ideas throughout the world. TED Circles is a spinoff of TED Talks that take themes supported by TED Talk videos and create discussions around these themes. As I stated earlier, some of our JBMS students were able to host a successful TED Circle with Dr. Miranda, Dr. Peterson, Dr. Scribner, our principal, Board Vice President Bertha Odegain, and Board Member Fuentes, Israel Fuentes. Our theme this month was optimism. Our circle focused on the attributes of optimism and how that optimism is spread throughout our schools. The discourse was rich with compliments of what we do, ideas for growth, and personal informative anecdotes. I would like to thank all those involved. Giving students a place to have voice is a passion of mine, and I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lucero. And again, as always, we appreciate the invite to participate in those activities. Absolutely. All right. We do have one more public speaker comment card from Mr. Steve Figueroa.
I'm not great at this. Kind of was just gonna sit and listen, but you know, you guys, thank you for listening to us. I'm sure you guys have seen on the news. You know, there's lots of people lots of jobs, no one's filling it. School districts aren't going to have enough money. There's tons of people leaving California. I mean, my wife, I mean, we've got 2 kids in the district. We've been thinking about leaving California too, just the way things are going. I belong to like 5 or 6 different Facebook groups for different states, just kind of thinking of where we're going to go and what we're going to do. We wanted to stay. My wife works for San Bernardino School District. She wanted to retire there. But this whole vaccine mandate is kind of speeding up our process. On a daily basis, I can't tell you how many people I see leaving California. You know, it basically, a lot of it comes down to how much money is going to be lost. If you guys can please support us, because we don't want to pull our kids out. We don't want to have to homeschool. But if it comes down to that, that's what we're going to do, and ultimately leave California. Like I said, so many people are leaving, money leaves. For you to rent a truck to leave California from U-Haul, it's over $2,000. Okay, but for you to move into California, it's like $300 because there's not enough people coming to California. People are leaving in droves because of this vaccine mandate, because of what the governor's doing. So you guys I'm sure have kids, grandkids. This vaccine is still in the experimental stages. My daughter doesn't want to get it. I had a heart condition that wasn't recognized till I was in my 30s. So I have heart conditions in my family. We're doing testing on her to make sure she doesn't have the same thing that I had. So, and it's not just so much about the heart condition, but we should have a medical choice. And I'm not saying I'm anti-vaccine, or I just want the choice. Like all these other parents that are here, we just want the choice to be able to say if we want to do it or yes. It's like choosing your cookie. What do you like, chocolate chip or peanut butter? That's all it is. So I'm asking you guys to really kind of take a look at this. I mean, I could come here with all, facts and numbers, and you guys have all seen it. A lot of the people here have come with the numbers, and those are all important. I mean, the stuff that came out of Israel about the people who had COVID were 5 times more with a natural immunity, were 5 times more or less likely to get it again versus somebody who had the vaccine and hadn't had COVID. This whole vaccine, these booster shots, it's ultimately to us looks like just money that people are going after. But I thank you guys for listening. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Figueroa. We appreciate your comments. Those are all the speaker slips that we have for this evening. And so, okay, well, there is an ACE update later in the agenda, so you're good. No, you're good. Don't worry, Mr. Lucero. So again, thank you for those that came today. Not a problem. Thank you for those that came today. We appreciate the public comment. We do, certainly. This concludes public comment for this evening, and we will go into our action session items. Tonight we have items 6.1 through 6.30. We did receive a request to pull item 6.20 from Vice President Adeguin, so I made a note of that, so we'll pull that for separate consideration. But I'd like to ask the board if there are any other items that they wish pulled for separate consideration or comment or presentation. All right. Hearing none, we will go ahead and pull item 6.20 and vote on the balance of the agenda. So we have items 6.1 through 6.30 with the exception of item 6.20. So I will ask if there is a motion to approve those agenda items. All right, the motion, is there a second? Second by Board Member Haro. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the items are approved. Oh, sorry. First was Board Member Fuentes, second by Board Member Haro. Not a problem. And that was approved unanimously, all board members that are present. Okay, that takes us to item 6.20, and I will ask first off if there is a motion to approve the item.
I'll make the motion.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second? Second, a motion by Board Member Adagin, second by Board Member Haro, and I will defer to Ms. Adagin for any questions or comments.
Okay, well, first, I just want to say thank you to staff, to Dr. Peterson's department for developing this plan that is due today, and it's going to be sent to the county. These are for the ESSER funds, and these are to address the impact of COVID. And it has specific purpose. And I know that, it's a lot of money, 55,472,328. So it's a considerable amount. And I really looked through and looked at the strategies that are put in place for the continuous learning and the loss of instructional time and then the use of remaining funds. So I just wanted to say that I'm very happy to see the interventions that are being added to this plan. I specifically like the expanded learning opportunities, the summer school is going to be coming up, just the programs, the variety of programs that are being implemented with these funds. So I just want to say thank you for that, and it's going to definitely make a difference to our students. So thank you.
From board members for staff? All right. Hearing none, we do have a motion by Board Member Adagin and a second by Board Member Haro. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, it is approved unanimously. All right, that concludes our action session items for this evening, and we move on to item 7, our administrative reports. Any questions from board members on items 7.1 through 7.3? These are our disbursements, our Williams quarterly report, and our uniform complaint procedure report. All right, hearing no questions on those, we will go to facilities update. We do not have a facilities update for this evening, so I think Director Chang has a reprieve for tonight. So we'll go ahead and go to our ACE update. This time I will ask Mr. Lucero to come on back up with an update from ACE.
Thank you. Hopefully the last time I'm up here tonight. Again, Paul Lucero, ACE Vice President. I'll be giving the ACE report this evening. The association would like to thank Board President Flores for attending our representative council this past week. Many of our representatives expressed our concerns over clear communication of COVID guidelines and expectations. And we thank you for being willing to listen, and we look forward to further communication with the school board as we navigate these tumultuous times. As I read earlier, the association has placed our contract negotiation sunshine in the agenda. The list is lengthy, and we look forward to working collaboratively with the district to reach a just settlement. As you know, this year, the complete bargaining agreement was available for sunshine, and since we have about 16 weeks left or so within the school year, not that I'm counting, to reach that settlement, ACE is interested in weekly negotiation sessions once the sunshine process has concluded. That concludes our ACE report. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Lucero. CSEA update. Do we have a representative from CSEA today? I don't believe we do. So we will go ahead and close that item, and no update from MAC this evening. So that takes us to our ROP update. So I'll ask Mr. Ibarra and or Mrs. Haro to please give us an update.
Okay, we did have an ROP meeting last week, and some of the highlights there was the board approved the superintendent Tracy Zerpoli's contract, and we extended it out, which is a good thing. And we also said goodbye to her administrative assistant. And what often happens when we get good people, they move on. And in this particular case, Redlands Unified picked her up. So, it's good to see that they get those opportunities, whether they're students or their staff as well. We did approve and review new mission statement and vision statement that was developed by a committee through CRIROP, which the board felt very strongly in favor of and how it was written. And we did take a look at their whole strategic plan for the year. And they narrowed it down to doable, reachable, attainable goals so that our superintendent can have something that they could work and we could actually see progress in. So without going into all that detail, because it was pretty lengthy, uh, but it was well written. And one of the comments I made was that I was glad to see that they brought in all the teachers, they brought in classified staff, they brought in all the staff from different variety of business that they do for the input with the strategic plan, which is something that I know we're familiar with and how we do it. But I just commended them on that because I think that it's great to have not only input but buy-in from the whole staff when you're trying to reach those type of objectives. So Pat, is there anything else you'd like to add?
The only thing I'd like to add is in regards to the strategic plan they came up with. I was part of the strategic plan committee that we did in Colton many years ago, going out to Palm Springs and brainstorming and doing everything and all the meetings we had. And what we did was a lot of work, but it was also hundreds of pages. And hundreds of pages are not something that you can, you're not going to get that all done. You can't get buy-in on hundreds of pages. This was maybe, I don't know, cover page included and table of contents. It was maybe 10 pages, but it was all stuff that was doable. It was a page of all the things we're doing right and all the things we need to work on. And I mean, this document was fabulous. And I saved it because I'm going to bring it to our superintendent because it was truly amazing. And I believe it was like 40 people worked on it. But it's an amazing document because of the fact that the things that we looked at in there, they are doable, they are accountable. There are things that are accountable and they're not pie in the sky. They're not, they are just things that we need to do now. And the mission statement, one sentence. It wasn't like a big old drawn out thing. So I think that's what made it, we were all so excited to see it. And I forgot to bring it this evening, but I will bring it to you. And so you can look it over because it's something that it needs to be shared. I think that all the prior board members, I think we all need to share it with all of our districts because it was that powerful. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
No, that's fantastic. I think we'd be very interested in seeing that document and learning more about that process.
See if we can get it for all of us.
That would be great. Absolutely. All right. Superintendent's communique, Dr. Miranda.
All right, thank you, Board President, Flores, board members, Executive Cabinet, and the few members out there of the audience. So nobody's online anymore, so I got to just kind of look out there. Thank you for still hanging in there. Anyway, so I want to start out with LCAP survey. I think the board knows and community knows that the LCAP is an important process document for us to make decisions about the funds that we get from the state in regards to our unduplicate account students. And so the process really starts, it's an annual process. It starts with an LCAP survey. And so the survey was recently sent home to all our students, parents, and staff. And so that input is really important. So we've partnered with Hanover Research over the several years to administer the survey and gather the information about the district's performance. We're always interested, obviously, in improving. So this is part of that process. So we use the feedback and we will use the feedback to ensure that the district is meeting the needs of the students primarily. That's what we're here to serve. And is consistent with the district's LCAP goals, which is 5 of them. And so the survey will remain open through November 3rd, I believe. And so again, I just want to, ensure that everybody understands that participation is important and we want open and honest feedback. We like that.
because we always want to improve. All responses to the survey are strictly confidential. And so just if there are any questions or concerns, please contact Dr. Peterson, who's our Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services, who works with Hanover Research and her team on this process. And so I want to thank Dr. Peterson, our Ed Services team, for putting the survey together. And we would love the feedback and honest feedback so we can continue to improve and do what's in best interest of our kids. So next one, please. Next slide. So something really fun that, again, Ed Services has put together. So I got to give, again, a shout out to our Ed Services division, who's created this wonderful challenge for, bless you, for our 7 to 12 students, 7 through 12th grade students. And we want to promote the district's 3 platforms: Paper Company, Tutoring, Ingenuity, MyPath. And these are individualized learning plans. And then we also have another platform called Alex, which is math and science support. So we have these wonderful opportunities and platforms for our students that Ed Services has vetted and researched, and these are research-based for our students. Again, this is for our students from 7th grade through 12th grade. So they have the opportunity to engage, earn points, and win various rewards. So there's a monthly challenge. And so we're encouraging students to use these platforms to support their learning and supplement regular daily instruction. We want to additionally, and this is pretty cool, I think this is a great opportunity for students too, is we're going to be providing lunch for all the site staff with the highest participation rate for the month of October. So I want to thank Dr. Mooney for creating this fun challenge for our students, and I look forward to seeing which site will be the winner for the month of October, so I can go out there and have lunch with them and hang out with them and make this fun. So we heard the students at Bloomington High talk about, some of the wonderful activities they're doing. So we're going to continue to engage our students and promote these activities. We're interested in definitely making it fun too, because, school should be fun for our kids. Next slide, please. So again, engage, earn, and win. I like to win. I don't know about you guys. So this is a great event. The Grand Terrace High School Wellness Center ribbon cutting opportunity here. The board recalls the board had a public hearing back in May, and the board took action to approve the Grand Terrace High School Wellness Center in honor of Coach Harold Strauss. So the site has been working to commemorate the naming of the Wellness Center and has confirmed a date for Tuesday, November 2nd. So the site has also been in contact with the Strauss family and will be invited to attend. So we're looking forward to this great special event to honor a great coach, and I know a great friend to many of you here. So we're hoping also members of the public can attend. And so I think, we all have our memories of Coach and the wonderful things he did at Colton High and also over at Grand Terrace High School. So I think he always used to tell me when you see me, "How you doing, Bubba?" So that was just him. So looking forward to honoring Coach in November 2nd. And then the last thing that I have is, I believe it's the last line. So I think I had one extra one today. But Unity Week. Somebody mentioned Unity Week, and we are celebrating Unity Week. And I think this is one of the things that we do that's actually unique to our district, where there has been quite a bit of activities at our sites throughout our district, along with the October being named National Bullying Prevention Month. Unity Day was yesterday on Wednesday, October 20th. So in collaboration with our transportation department And we know that we have Eric Richardson, one of the best, who gets a school to paint the bus. This year we had Slover students paint the bus, and they did an amazing job. And then our transportation department takes it to another level. I see that they do a lot of great work, so it's pretty awesome. So the CJUSD Kindness Bus was decorated, like I said, by our Slover students, and they traveled yesterday throughout the district, and they're continuing this the next couple of days, actually, traveling the district. And but really, what we're doing is we're spreading that message, and they're spreading the message of inclusion, kindness, and acceptance. And just to shout out to TED Circle, that's exactly what we talked about yesterday, about doing that. And that was awesome. Thank you, Mr. Lucero, for that. And so members of the board and district employees welcome the kindness bus. And we were out there hanging out with Mr. Fuentes and at the different sites, and your chant was pretty awesome. Yeah, that the kindness chant, we call it now, right? So I think we started a tradition yesterday, which was really awesome. So it was a great event, spreading happiness and kindness throughout the district. And again, thank you to Director Richardson and his team for this great event, and also have to really also thank Director Melissa Kingston for assisting with the planning of various activities throughout the district. Just a great day yesterday for our district. So I appreciate that, and just want to make sure to recognize, and that hopefully we can continue that trend moving forward. Spread the kindness, and like Tiffany said all the time, the love. Okay, and with that, thank you. I'll turn it back over to you, Board President.
Thank you, Dr. Miranda. We appreciate the update. And just as a point of clarification, the ribbon cutting for the Grand Terrace High School Wellness Center for Coach Strauss, that's at 8 o'clock? 8 a.m. All right. So someone's bringing the coffee and donuts, right? All right. Thank you for that. It's already on calendar. Appreciate it, Ms. Medina. All right. This takes us to board comments. We'll begin our comments with Mr. Ibarra.
Thank you, Dan. First of all, I want to just thank everybody who's still hanging out here. I know that you're probably thinking of where the Dodgers are at this time. So last time I heard it was 4-2 Dodgers. Yep. So do you need to know that? There it is. Uh-oh. You got now? It's gone up. Okay. 6-2.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Even better. I used to say más mejor. Okay. I just want to address one item, and it was something that was brought to me actually today as well, and it was addressed earlier by one of our speakers. The seating on Cone High School's baseball diamonds. I know it's a good opportunity to seed during this time of the year. We're not getting the heat as much, but the concern I received is that Cone High School cross country is hosting the conference championship. And part of the route is going through those baseball diamonds. Now, my question here is there any form of communication between M&O and the high schools or the athletic directors to see if there's any conflict with doing those type of activities? Because if it was me, I would have some kind of calendar. And I would be looking at the calendar and saying, okay, I have these things I need to do. I'll put it that way. And is there any events that I need to be aware of before I do that? What does that do? Well, believe it or not, it takes 2 miles out of that particular conference, track and field. So now they have to come up with a new route, which is not easy. Okay, so what does that mean? Conference means that every high school in our area is going to be there. And now they have to come up. So it was brought to my attention. I know Ms. Villa mentioned it as part of the baseball, but I was just thinking throughout the day, don't we have a form of communication between one department and our schools to make sure that there's nothing conflicted with those type of events. And obviously, in this particular case, there's a big conflict. Okay, so that being said, second, I'd like to know if at Bloomington High School has our shot put and discus been taken care of? Because if it hasn't been taken care of, once the holiday's over, it's track and field season. And as I noted before, they will not be able to have official throws sanctioned by CIF if those are not official. So I know that you know, a lot of the sports things get thrown at me, you know, and I'm okay with that, you know, taking my background. And I know that, you know, someone made a comment and that was directed at me. I should know, but I don't know what's going on and everything. But one thing that did bother me that was said, and I don't mind saying it, it's something, and I don't know how true this was because I take things with a grain of salt, but I don't see two high school coaches making an agreement to play a game without the district being aware of it because that becomes liable. Did the district know that they're going to get together and play a game? The way it was said was basically, oh, we're not doing anything, so they got together and they're going to play a game. All fine and dandy, you know. But if one of those athletes gets hurt and say Dr. Miranda goes to Joda Murphy and she says, I have no schedule of that game, then what? So I don't know if anybody picked that up, but I would look into that, definitely. And I see Mr. Dade, and I know you're a sharp guy, so I know you would pick something like that up. But I just wanted to make sure that, you know, when things like that are said, that we pick up on those. Because for me, that would be something that, you know, we don't want to see. It should be something pre-scheduled and pre-agreed on by the athletic directors. Not because the coach from a different high school is from Cone High. Okay? So that's how I'm looking at that as well. Not that I don't want them to play, but I think we need to do it the right way. So, okay, I think that's all I have.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. And you're correct. We don't always know everything that's going on at all times throughout the entire district. We are human. All right, Board Member Fuentes.
Thank you, Board President. Just wanted to highlight some of the things that we've all probably already heard. I want to thank Mr. Lucero for having us at Joe Baca yesterday. We did do the TED Circle with these young men and women that were just amazing. We did talk about optimism, and they opened up. I mean, these young men and women, I'm always surprised to see how smart they are, how intelligent, they're questioning, the way they dialogue with each other. I agree with this, I agree with that. I mean, it's just amazing to see how they really open up. So, Mr. Lucero, thank you very much. Please let the students know that we really appreciate being there. I know my colleague, Bertha Adeguin, was there with us, and Superintendent Dr. Miranda and many from the executive board were there with us too. But it's just amazing. You know, I was going to the next school, and I was driving in my car. We were heading out to Lewis for Unity Day. Just thinking. Even last night, I was just thinking, wow, I'd love to see if there's a possibility. We do highlight our high schools, but I'd like to highlight the middle schools. I'd like to see if there's an opportunity for the middle schools to come out and present what they're doing at Webb, ASB, Avid. You know, those young men and women, I'd love to see them come out here and share what they're doing in their classroom, the activities that they're doing there at the schools too. And if there's a possibility to do that, I know we do our high schools, but I've never seen one of the middle schools come out. And I think the middle schools also, our students are doing amazing things at the middle schools. And I think it's an opportunity for them to start coming out here to the board meetings, letting the community know, this is what we're doing at our middle schools. And I think it's an awesome thing. So if we can look at that and get an opportunity to put them on the agenda and have them come out, that would be great. The other thing I want to highlight is our Unity Day. We did go out to Lewis and Sycamore and DRC. And we did spread a little unity out there. My famous chant now, I guess everybody knows the chant. I know our director of safety, John Sachs, really loves it. We were just talking, we were joking around. It's something that the kids really picked up. I put it on Facebook. It just goes like this: we like kindness, yes we do. We like kindness. How about you? So, and the kids pick it up. You could hear these young students really picking it up and having fun with it. So we did have fun with them. I think a lot of the kids, as I was walking around passing out pencils and bracelets and stickers, some of them were coming up to me and says, "I'm making a friend today, and I'm going to try to talk to somebody new today." And I'm talking small first, second, third graders that were just sharing these things with me as I'm passing around all these goodies to them. And it was just awesome to see the young ones out there. And it excites me that our future of our nation and our state and our communities, we want to bring them up in an optimistic way and in a positive way too. Bring them up. And today, listening to the Bloomington High School students and how they presented their presentation was very, very well done. And I'm excited. I'm excited for our district. I'm excited for our communities. And we want to continue to fight for our kids too. So thank you. That's all I had this evening. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Board Member Haro.
Just very briefly, I want to apologize, Mr. Lucero, for not making it yesterday. And I've never missed riding on that bus. I love it. But I had surgery and I haven't been doing so well. But so I haven't been able to make it to all the events that I normally enjoy doing. And I just want to thank those of you who sent cards and well wishes and flowers and messages of kindness. So I just wanted to say thank you. But hopefully the next one I'll be able to be there. So thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Haro. Ms. Adeguin, please.
Thank you. I want to echo what Mr. Fuentes said about the TED circles with Mr. Lucero. And Mr. Lucero, I'd like to, for you to take this back to the students. Tell them how much I admired their composure. Also, how poised they were and so eloquent. So please pass that on to them. And seeing the students participate in that way, that's what happens when we give students a voice. And that is so powerful. You have this member's support and everything so we can continue these activities for our students. So thank you. Ms. Town, thank you so much for being here tonight. And I hope we continue to seeing you participate in our board meetings. And I hope you're enjoying your retirement. But I'm very happy to see you here. I also would like to thank the community and the parents that came and spoke today. So, okay, the last thing I have is the shields. I'm not advocating for removal of the shields. I just want to make that clear. I would like though to keep the pulse on that and for staff to continue monitoring the purpose and the effectiveness of them, because even us here today, it's not the most comfortable feeling. I understand it's necessary to keep our students safe. All I'm saying is let's just keep the pulse on that and monitor as we get out of these situations with COVID. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Board Member Adeguin. Well, I'll begin where you left off there with respect to the shields, only because, as Mr. Lucero had mentioned, I had a chance to participate in a conversation with some of the site reps through ACE, and the topic came up. And I think what was interesting is for every person that thought that the shields may not be necessary, there was somebody who said, we want to keep them. So, and to be honest, I don't think that those are diametrically opposed, because when you look at the situations and the circumstances, it's different. Somebody sitting at a counter where they're interacting with the public, or lots of folks that may be coming up that they don't know, would understandably want to have more protection, as opposed to a closed classroom where you're the only teacher. You know who the students are for the most part, and there's distancing. So I think there's a lot to be thought about and talked about with that respect. Probably the best approach is maybe to simply ask if there's consensus for there to be an update in board correspondence, because it's a combination of what are the public health guidances, what are the recommendations, what are we hearing in the field from our staff. And my guess is, at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be a mandate or an edict coming from the board as a policy, as much as a rule of common sense. That in your circumstance, if it makes sense for you and you talk to your site administration or your supervisor and it makes sense for you, great. If you have other precautions in place and it's becoming more of a hindrance to the learning environment, my little one, he got moved to the back of the class and he talked about not being able to see through all the shields at the whiteboard. So I get it, it impacts the classroom. So perhaps if we can get an update in board correspondence about that and keep that conversation going, because I think it's fluid. So thank you for bringing that up. Yeah.
The shields are not mandated by the state any longer. However, we did it because the parents asked for them.
Yeah.
So I think we need to include them in the conversation as well as the staff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Nope, that's a great point. And then I'll just add, I want to thank the folks that came tonight and spoke at public comment. We had a lot of good public comment, lots to think about, and I really appreciate there's a diverse viewpoints and perspectives, but the fact that everybody was professional, polite, respectful, passionate, but that's a great example of how the dialogue should take place. So I do appreciate everybody that took the time to be here tonight. It certainly gave me a lot to think about. I'm sure the rest of my board members. Not a lot of people are listening, I'm sure, because I don't think we're live and folks are watching the game, but I'll chime in a little bit. And I don't blame them, but I'll chime in real quick just with respect. I think Board Member Ibarra touched upon this, and I do love when folks come and speak passionately about the school district, about the schools, about their students. I grew up here. I understand the passion for our athletics and our sports. I do. I love sports, probably to a fault, my wife would say. There's constantly a game on the TV. But you know, there's an advertisement the NCAA had put out that I thought was brilliant, and it showed all these great student athletes, and it said, you know, not more than 99% of college student athletes will go pro in something other than sports. And I think it's a reminder, just as it is for us here, that while we have lots of student athletes, small percentage, compared to the 100% of students that we have. All 21,000 are students, and I would love to see somebody come forth with the same passion and energy and maybe frustration even about test scores or about access to a higher quality, you know, education, curriculum, books, materials, technology. That has to be at the core of what we do, right? I mean, I was an athlete in high school, but trust me, I knew that that's where it was going to end for me. And I made a choice to follow a path of academic passion and pursue that opportunity to go to college. And that has to be at the forefront as well. That's not to say sports aren't fun, sports aren't the only thing as well. We have Board Member Haro brilliantly speaks about the arts, about all the other activities that we have. So those should be at the forefront as well. But again, I've yet to have a parent come up and really rail on us about test scores and doing a better job of providing that education for the students and equity in education. You know, it sounds crazy, but I'd probably like to hear that for a change, because I would know that then we're being pressed to also excel in that arena, not just in some of the, you know, the really highlighted activities like football and baseball and sports, which again, I'm a sports guy. I get it. I love it. But their student athletes are students first. So just thought I'd share that too, because again, it's something I think we oftentimes notice as we interact with folks in the community. But thank you for everybody that came and spoke. And that'll be the close of the open session for now. We'll jump into closed session. And so we will adjourn to close.
For our sign language interpreters this evening, thank you for your services. You are free to go.
You're most welcome. Thanks for having us.
Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Sorry about that. I appreciate it. You're out of here, right?
All right, we'll reconvene our meeting here in open session. We'll begin with item 11.1, our student discipline and revocation. There were 2 student discipline items presented in closed session. Is there a motion to uphold the expulsion orders as presented? Okay, motion by Board Member Haro, second by Board Member Fuentes. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, they are approved unanimously with all board members that are present. It takes us to 11.2. This is our public employee personnel appointment item. On a motion by Board Member Haro and seconded by Board Member Fuentes, the board approved the aforementioned appointments as listed on the agenda, and that was a 5-0 vote. So it was unanimous with the board members that were present in closed session. That concludes our, I'm sorry, 5-0. There was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yeah, there's only 5 of us. Yeah. With board members Thorian Ojeda and Sandoval were absent in closed session. Okay. Not a problem. That concludes our readout. So we will go ahead and adjourn our meeting. Get home safe, everybody.